46. Heresy flaunts its strength to mock orthodoxy. Mind monkey in Epiphany slays the deviates. We were telling you that when the king saw Pilgrim Son's ability to summon dragons and command sages, he immediately applied his treasure seal to the travel rescript. He was about to hand it back to the Tang monk and permit him to take up the journey once more, when the three Taoists went forward and prostrated themselves before the steps of the Hall of Golden Chimes. The king left his dragon throne hurriedly and tried to raise them with his hands. State preceptors, he said, why do you three go through such a great ceremony with us today? Your Majesty, said the Taoists, we have been upholding your reign and providing security for your people here for these 20 years. Today this priest has made use of some paltry tricks of magic and robbed us of all our credit and ruined our reputation. Just because of one rainstorm, your Majesty has pardoned even their crime of murder. Are we not being treated lightly? Let your Majesty withhold their rescript for the moment and allow us brothers to wage another contest with them. We shall see what happens then. That king was in truth a confused man. He would side with the East when they mentioned East, and with the West when they mentioned West. Indeed, putting away the travel rescript, he said. State preceptors, what sort of contest do you wish to wage with them? A contest of meditation, said the tiger strength great immortal. That's no good, said the king. For the monk is reared in the religion of meditation. He must be well trained in such mysteries before he dares receive the decree to acquire scriptures. Why do you want to wage such a contest with him? This contest, said the great immortal, is not an ordinary one, for it has the name of the Epiphany of Saintliness by the cloud ladder. What do you mean by that? Asked the king. The great immortal said, we need 100 tables, 50 of which will be made, by piling one on top of the other, into an altar of meditation. Each contestant must ascend to the top without using his hands or a ladder, but only with the help of a cloud. We shall also agree on how many hours we shall remain immobile while sitting on the top of the altar. When he learned that it was to be such a difficult contest, the king put the question to the pilgrims, saying, Hey, monks! Our state preceptor would like to wage with you a contest of meditation, called the Epiphany of Saintliness by the cloud ladder. Can any one of you do it? When Pilgrim heard this, he fell silent and gave no reply. Elder brother, said 8 Rules. Why aren't you saying anything? Brother, to tell you the truth, said Pilgrim, I'm quite capable of performing such difficult feats as kicking down the sky or overturning wells, stirring up oceans or upending rivers, carrying mountains or chasing the moon, and altering the course of stars and planets. I'm not afraid, in fact, of even having my head split open or cut off, of having my stomach ripped apart and my heart gouged out, or of any such strange manipulations. But if you ask me to sit and meditate, I'll lose the contest even before I begin. Where could I, tell me, acquire the nature to sit still? Even if you were to chain me to an iron pillar, I would still try to climb up and down. I can never manage to sit still. But I know how to sit and meditate. The Tang monk blurted out suddenly. Marvelous. Just marvelous, said Pilgrim, highly pleased. How long can you do this? I met some lofty Chan masters when I was young, said Tripitaka, who expounded to me the absolutely crucial foundation of quiescence and concentration in order to preserve my spirit. Shut up alone in the so-called life and death meditative confinement, I had managed to sit still for 2 or 3 years at least. If you do that, master, said Pilgrim, we won't need to go acquire scriptures. At most, I don't think it will be necessary for you to sit for more than 3 hours here before you will be able to come down. But, disciple, said Tripitaka, I can't get up there. You step forward and accept the challenge, said Pilgrim. I'll send you up there. Indeed, the elder pressed his palms together before his chest and said, This humble priest knows how to sit in meditation. The king at once gave the order for the altars to be built. Truly, a nation has the strength to topple mountains. In less than half an hour, 2 altars were built on the left and right of the Hall of Golden Chimes. Coming down from the hall, the tiger strength great immortal went to the middle of the courtyard. He leapt into the air, and at once a mat of clouds formed under his feet and took him up to the altar to the west, where he sat down. Pilgrim meanwhile pulled off one strand of his hair, and caused it to change into a spurious form of himself, standing down below to accompany 8 rules and Sha Monk. He himself changed into an auspicious cloud of 5 colors to carry the Tang monk into the air, and lift him to sit on the altar to the east. He then changed himself into a tiny mole cricket, and flew to alight on 8 Rules' ear to whisper to him, "Brother, look up and watch master with care. Don't speak to the substitute of old monkey." Laughing, Idiot said, I know. We tell you now about the dear strength great immortal, sitting on the embroidered cushion in the hall, where he watched the 2 contestants for a long time and found them quite equally matched. This Taoist decided to give his elder brother some help. Pulling a stubby piece of hair from the back of his head, he rolled it with his fingers into a tiny ball and filliped it onto the head of the Tang monk. The piece of hair changed into a huge bedbug and began to bite the elder. At first, the elder felt an itch, after which it changed to pain. Now, one of the rules in meditation is that one cannot move one's hands. When one does, it is an immediate admission of defeat. As the elder found the itch and pain to be quite unbearable, he sought to find relief by wriggling his head against the collar of his robe. "Oh dear," said 8 Rules. "Master is going to have a fit." "No," said Sha Monk. "He might be having a headache." Hearing this, Pilgrim said, "My master is an honest gentleman. If he said he knew how to practice meditation, he would be able to do it. A gentleman does not lie. Stop speculating, the 2 of you, and let me go up to take a look. Dear Pilgrim." He buzzed up there and alighted on the head of the Tang monk, where he discovered a bedbug about the size of a bean biting the elder. Hurriedly, he removed it with his hand, and then he gave his master a few gentle scratches. His itch and pain relieved, the elder once more sat motionless on the altar. The bald head of a priest. Thought Pilgrim to himself. Can't even hold a louse. How could a bedbug get into it? It must be, I suppose, a stunt of that Taoist, trying to harm my master. Ha ha. Since they haven't quite reached a decision yet in this contest, let old monkey give him a taste of his own tricks. Flying up into the air until he reached a height beyond the roof of the palace, he shook his body and changed at once into a centipede at least 7 inches in length. It dropped down from the sky and landed on the Taoist's upper lip before his nostrils, where it gave him a terrific bite. Unable to sit still any longer, the Taoist fell backwards from the altar head over heels and almost lost his life. He was fortunate enough to have all the officials rush forward to pull him up. The horrified king at once asked the Grand Preceptor before the throne to help him go to the Pavilion of Cultural Fluorescence to be washed and combed. Pilgrim, meanwhile, changed himself again into the auspicious cloud to carry his master down to the courtyard before the steps, where he was declared the winner. The king wanted to let them go, but the dear strength great immortal again said to him, "Your Majesty, my elder brother has been suffering from a suppressed chill. When he goes up to a high place, the cold wind he's exposed to will bring on his old sickness." That was why the monk was able to gain the upper hand. Let me now wage with them a contest of guessing what's behind the boards. "What do you mean by that?" asked the king. Dear Strength said, "This humble Taoist has the ability to gain knowledge of things even if they were placed behind boards. Let's see if those monks are able to do the same. If they could outguess me, let them go. But if not, then let them be punished according to your Majesty's wishes so that our fraternal distress may be avenged and that our services to the kingdom for these 20 years may remain untainted." Truly that king is exceedingly confused. Swayed by such fraudulent words, he at once gave the order for a red lacquered chest to be brought to the inner palace. The queen was asked to place a treasure in the chest before it was carried out again and set before the white jade steps. The king said to the monks and the Taoists, "Let both sides wage your contest now and see who can guess the treasure inside the chest." "Disciple," said Tripitaka, "how could we know what's in the chest?" Pilgrim changed again into a mole cricket and flew up to the head of the Tang monk. "Relax, master," he said. "Let me go take a look." "Dear great sage." Unnoticed by anyone, he flew up to the chest and found a crack at the base, through which he crept inside. On a red lacquered tray he found a set of palace robes. They were the Empire blouse and cosmic skirt. Quickly he picked them up and shook them loose. Then he bit open the tip of his tongue and spat a mouthful of blood onto the garments, crying, "Change." They changed instantly into a torn and worn-out cassock. Before he left, however, he soaked it with his bubbly and stinking urine. After crawling out again through the crack, he flew back to alight on the Tang monk's ear and said, "Master, you may guess that it is a torn and worn-out cassock." He said that it was some kind of treasure. Said Tripitaka, "How could such a thing be a treasure?"